When you file for bankruptcy, you have to list all the property that you own. To protect your property from being taken by the bankruptcy trustee, you need to apply what are called exemptions. Well, what are exemptions and how do they work? That's the topic of this video. Hello again, everyone. I'm attorney Robert Flesses. If you're new to this channel, now is the best time to subscribe, because if you subscribe right now, you'll know where to go to get answers to your legal questions. Bankruptcy property exemptions are very important, and you should know what exemptions you're entitled to before filing. There are exemptions available under the federal law and your particular state's law. But in some states, you can only use either the federal exemptions and not the state exemptions. In other states, you can use only the state exemptions and not the federal exemptions. And in some states, you can use both federal and state exemptions. If you're going to file, you need to know which exemptions apply to you. Here's an example of how exemptions work. Most people own a vehicle. Let's say the exemption that you're going to use in your jurisdiction allows a $5,000 vehicle exemption. I'll use an example to apply the exemption. Let's say your vehicle's worth $10,000 and you have a loan on it for $6,000, leaving about $4,000 in equity. If that's the case, then your vehicle is exempt, meaning the trustee can't touch it because the allowable exemption exceeds the equity. On the other hand, let's say your vehicle is worth $20,000 and you have a loan on it for $10,000. There's $10,000 in equity left. You apply the $5,000 vehicle exemption, but you're exposed now for $5,000 in equity. In that case, the trustee may take the vehicle, sell it, pay off the $10,000 loan, and the remaining $10,000 will be split between you and your creditors. One other solution to this problem would be to use the wild card exemption rather than the vehicle exemption. A wild card exemption can be used for any type of property that you own. Usually the wild card will provide you with a larger exemption amount if your normal vehicle exemption in this case is not enough to cover the equity in your vehicle. But you have to be careful not to use up your wild card exemption on one asset when you have other property that's not exempt. Exemptions serve two purposes. One purpose is for use, of course, in bankruptcy. The other purpose is to shield you from execution of creditor judgments. Let's say you're not going to file bankruptcy because you don't have any need for it, but you have a judgment that was obtained by one of your creditors. That creditor can execute the judgment by trying to take your property from you. States have statutory exemptions that prevent creditors from seizing certain property from you when a judgment is being executed against you. There are situations where if you're married and filing jointly, you can double your state exemptions. The most common example is for your home. Let's say that your state allows a $75,000 exemption for your home, and if you're married and filing bankruptcy jointly, then you can double the exemption amount to $150,000 to help you cover the equity in your home. There are also exemptions for tools of the trade. You can protect certain property that you use for a job in order to earn income. A good example is if you're a musician that plays a guitar in a band. Guitarists need their guitar, an amplifier, and other equipment in order to perform with their band at gigs. This equipment is a tool of your trade. Before filing bankruptcy, you should list all of the property that you own and assign values to each item. Then know your exemption amounts for all of your property. You want to know that before you file, otherwise you might be surprised to learn that you're going to lose some of your property. I'm attorney Robert Flesses. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.